Hello guys, welcome back to my vlog channel. Welcome to another vlog. I'm sorry I haven't vlogged again in another month or so. Life has just been really hectic and really full on lately, but I feel like I have so much to catch you guys up on. I think the last time I uploaded a vlog was when I was 30 weeks pregnant, around about then. I am now 35 plus 5, so almost 36 weeks, and things are starting to get very real. I've had a bunch of you guys asking me to do a third trimester overview / update. So I thought I'd sit down and do that at the start of this video. I actually am meeting my mum in towards the city this afternoon. We're going to go grab dinner together, and then we're doing a perfume class, which I'm very excited for. So I've got a little bit of time before I need to leave, and yeah, I thought I'd sit down, start a new vlog, and also update you guys on what's been happening and how the third trimester has been going. So like I mentioned, I am 35 plus 5 at the moment. I had my last ultrasound done at 32 weeks, and that was specifically done, I think generally the third trimester ultrasound is done around 34 to 36 weeks, but my midwife wanted it done earlier because at my 20-week scan, there was just a few things flagged. My placenta was low-lying, and also there was something that they flagged about baby's kidneys as well. So they wanted me to come in at 32 weeks to check both of those things. So I had my 32-week ultrasound and everything was good. My placenta had moved up, which was such a relief because, long story short, if you have a low-lying placenta and it's covering your cervix, they don't allow you to deliver naturally. So that was kind of a big concern for me because my birth preference is to deliver naturally. So yeah, big relief that my placenta is up and out of the way. And then everything with baby was healthy, very, very healthy. She is in the 90th percentile. She is a chunky girl. Her abdomen was off the scale entirely on the report. So she's got a chunky belly and the rest of her, she's measuring 2 weeks ahead and yeah, in the 90th percentile. So we have a very healthy baby. Her heart apparently is extremely healthy, the blood flow, everything. So could not be happier. They say that baby's birth weight is kind of based on what the mother weighed when the mum was born. And so lucky for me, I was born 9 pound 11. And yeah, I think baby is going to be roughly around the same size. So because baby is measuring so big, my midwife has asked me to do another scan at 36 weeks. So I actually have that tomorrow, and that's just to see if she's still growing at the same rate. And she has warned me that if that's the case and baby is still big, they're probably going to suggest, it's just a recommendation, but they're going to suggest to me that I get induced early, which I'm not interested in doing. And I said that to her, and she was completely supportive of my birth preferences and what I wanted. So yeah, it's just interesting. I'm very keen to just play out this pregnancy and just let baby come when she's ready. I know people that have given birth to 10-pound babies, drug-free, all natural. So I think, personally, that's just my preference. I don't want to be induced early if I don't need to be. So anyways, that's what tomorrow's appointment is all about. So I've got my ultrasound, and then I'm meeting with my midwife afterwards, and we're going to chat basically about birth and what it's all going to be about. So she's asked me to do up a birth plan to bring into her tomorrow. So I've spent all morning typing out my birth plan, or our birth plan, because it obviously involves Ben. I've been packing my hospital bag. I've been finalizing baby's room. You can probably see we've got like a few little additions. I'm not going to show you guys everything because I'll do like a proper nursery room tour, hopefully before she arrives. But yeah, we've done like so many things to the nursery since I last showed you guys, and I'm so happy with how it's looking. So yeah, it's like, it's really, really feeling real. Like, it is so crazy to think that within the next 4 or 5 weeks she could arrive at any time, basically. In terms of me, I'm feeling interesting. Like, the third trimester has definitely been tough. I would still say the first trimester was by far the hardest, just with like morning sickness and nausea. You guys know I really struggled with that. But third trimester is just different. Like, your body is just being pushed to its absolute limits. Like, ow, 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 ow. Speaking of, she's like moving right now. So one of the things for me right now is baby's head down, which is great, but her head has been in my pelvis for the last like few weeks, which again is great for leading up to birth, but it's very, very uncomfortable, and it causes a lot of like pelvic pressure and pelvic pain, especially when she moves. So that's what just happened then. She had a little kick around, and I think her head must have moved in my pelvis, and it was very uncomfortable. So that's probably the biggest thing with the third trimester, is it is so uncomfortable, just because baby's so big now. Like, your body is literally just being stretched to its absolute limits, and it feels like it. So my ankles and joints get really, really sore if I've been like standing for too long. If I'm like laying down for too long, like in bed at night, my leg cramps, my hip cramps, I'm just constantly like switching sides in bed to try and relieve those. I'm also peeing like 2 or 3 times a night, so my sleep is really, really broken. And I was saying to someone the other day, like, I think I would prefer the broken sleep of having a newborn, because there's actually like a purpose of getting up in the night, and like, it's a cute purpose. It's like my baby. Whereas at the moment, I'm literally waking up 2 or 3 times a night just to go to the toilet and let out like a tablespoon of wee. It is so frustrating. And I've spoken to a lot of people that have said the sleep you get with a newborn is almost better than the sleep you get in the third trimester, just because you're so uncomfortable and need to pee so frequently. So I'm not surprised, honestly, because I've been sleeping terribly. But yeah, apart from that, I have been experiencing Braxton Hicks, which is so interesting. I actually spoke to my midwife about it at my 32-week appointment, because I was like, I didn't know at the time that it was Braxton Hicks, but I was explaining to her that I keep getting this really tight sensation in my belly where it just feels so stretched and so tight. It lasts for about 30 seconds. And at the same time, I get this really odd feeling of like, I can't breathe, almost like I'm winded. And I was telling her this, and I said, like, is that normal? What is going on? And she was like, have you heard of Braxton Hicks? And I said, yeah. And she was like, that's what you're experiencing. So that was interesting. So I think I've been getting them from like about 30 weeks, maybe like 31 weeks. And they're not painful at all. They're just like a really uncomfortable feeling. Some days I get them more than others, and they're not regular at all. Like, they're very, very random. So yeah, that's kind of like my third trimester update. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. I will try and show you guys my hospital bag in my next vlog. I'm still like throwing a few things in here and there, so it's not fully packed yet. But yeah, it's starting to feel very real. I'm just so excited to meet her in person, and I can't believe it's gonna happen so soon. Hey guys, so it is the next day, Friday. Ben is just getting ready. He just had a shower. We are about to leave for my 36-week ultrasound, which I think I mentioned to you guys yesterday. It's like a growth checkup because baby is measuring so far ahead. They just want to keep an eye on like how big she's actually getting. But yeah, I've just been having like a lot of pelvic pressure over the last 24 hours. I feel like her head has slid further down into my pelvis or something, just because every time she moves, I feel it like really low down in my pelvis and it hurts. Like it stops me in my tracks and I have to stand there and just like wait for it to stop. So yeah, it'll be really interesting actually to see the ultrasound and like see what is going on in there, see what she's doing. So yeah, I'll be 36 weeks tomorrow, and I've had a bunch of you guys DMing me on Instagram saying that like, because I mentioned this morning on my stories that I had a lot of pelvic pressure, and I've had a lot of you guys messaging me saying that you went into labor early at like 36 or 37 weeks and like the pelvic pressure was real for you guys too. So it's kind of like making me feel a little bit, not nervous, but just makes it feel more real, because I literally feel like at any point now I could go into labor. So yeah, that's a little update. I don't know if I'll be able to bring you guys into the ultrasound, but I will kind of just like update you as we go. All right, so we're back home from the midwife appointment. I feel like my camera isn't focusing properly today. Sorry if there's been like some weird in and out focus blurred shots, but we are back from the ultrasound. Is that what I said already? What? Okay, ignore me. We're back from the ultrasound. We got McDonald's on the way home, and we literally have to leave like in another 10 or 15 minutes to go to the midwife appointment. But it looks like baby's growth has slowed a little bit because she's now come in the 83rd percentile. So the only thing that's bumping her up into that high percent is her belly. She has a really big belly. And then like her head and everything else is measuring roughly like 60 to 70%. So she's kind of like not that big, like nothing that's worrying me at all. If anything, she's just really chunky and healthy, which is amazing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They're gonna send those results straight to my midwife, who I'm seeing soon. So it'll be interesting to see what the midwife says then in regards to like early induction and stuff, because I just really don't feel like it's that necessary. I think she, like, her head is down in my pelvis. It's like squished up against my cervix. So she's in the right position. She's where she needs to be. And like her tummy is the squishiest part of her. So I can't imagine that just because that is like the biggest part that it's going to cause, hopefully, complications in labor. Like if it was her head, I'd be maybe a little bit more worried, but it's her belly. Like it's squishy. Once her head and her shoulders are out, the rest is, I want to say easy, but probably not easy, but you know what I mean? Like it's just not as scary as they made it sound initially. So we'll see. We'll see what my midwife says. Obviously, I will take their recommendations and listen to what they have to say. But at the end of the day, like I'm feeling pretty good about it all. Oh my gosh. Okay. I just got out of my midwife appointment. It is so freaking hot in Brisbane at the moment. What does my car say? 31 degrees. It feels like freaking 40 degrees, I swear. Ben had to head off early. He actually has his brother's graduation to go to this afternoon. So he came to like the first half of the appointment and then he had to leave. But everything is all good. They are happy with how baby is measuring. They didn't suggest an early induction. They said that everything is looking good. Her growth is looking good. So they're happy for me to just keep doing me and let her come when she's ready. So I'm very, very happy about that. Because as you guys know, that's what I wanted anyway, but it was just nice that I didn't kind of have to like go against the medical recommendation, if that makes sense. So yeah, really, really good. She said that baby's head is fully in my pelvis. She's very, very low, which explains like the discomfort I'm feeling. But yeah, other than that, I gave her my birth plan, or like my birth preferences. We went through them together and she said they were really, like, she's super on board. I love my midwife. Like, I'm obsessed with her. She's so supportive of what I want, and she said to me just then in the appointment that she really, really hopes that she's on shift when I go into labor, and I really hope that too, because I just would love to have her there supporting me through my birth. Yeah, she's so on the same page as me. She's so sweet. Yeah, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed she's there. But yeah, everything's good. Everything is amazing. Baby is healthy. She's very active. She's got a very, very strong heartbeat. So I could not be happier. She also gave me the go-ahead today to start expressing colostrum. Just hand expressing, which is very exciting because if you guys have been following my pregnancy journey, you'll know that I actually started leaking colostrum at around like 21 weeks pregnant, I think, which was super, super early, but I just haven't been able to do anything with it yet. Like, it's not been enough for me to like catch and collect it. But you're also not allowed to start expressing it until you hit 36 weeks, just because it can induce labor. So yeah, she gave me the go ahead to start doing that, which is exciting. Hopefully I can build up a little stash before baby arrives. And then also I've been drinking my raspberry leaf tea and eating my dates. She's also told me to start doing some perineal massage and also evening primrose oil, which is like a new thing, but she said she's done a lot of research on it and there's a lot of evidence behind it. So I am going to start doing that as well, which is very exciting. It feels very real now.
Into the place, dispatch you from a ways. My heart, it started racing.
Okay, so I've just made myself a red raspberry leaf tea. I actually asked my midwife today because I've been having 1 cup a day for the last week, but it says on here that you can have a maximum of 3 cups per day for a stronger effect. So I asked her today, like, can I have 3 cups a day? And she was like, yeah, there's literally no harm. If anything, it'll like do more for you. So I'm gonna have one now, and then hopefully I'm gonna try and remember to have another one later tonight before bed or something. It's just like a really nice way to wind down for bed too. I've been doing it all week and I really enjoy it. I actually also really like the taste of the red raspberry leaf tea. A lot of people have said that it tastes disgusting, so I was like not prepared to like it, but I personally think it tastes really good. That's just me. I use this one here. The brand is Clay Naturals, C-L-E, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'll leave them linked down below. They're like a local Brisbane-based company. So yeah, thought I'd show you guys that. And then I've also been having my dates every day, because that is also another thing that my midwife had recommended to me from like 35 weeks onwards to help try and soften the cervix. And I think it also has a really great effect on your uterus once your uterus starts to contract, or like it helps to, I don't know. There's a lot of research behind it. If you're interested, read up about it. But they basically recommend having 6 dates a day, which is a lot. I don't like dates. I hate dates. So yeah, 6 dates a day to me is just like, what the hell? But I learned that 6 dates is the equivalent of 3 medjool dates. Medjool, whatever. They're the bigger ones. So what I've done is I grabbed a punnet of medjool dates while I was at Woolworths earlier in the week, and I pitted them, filled them with peanut butter, and then drizzled chocolate on top, and then set them in the fridge. And it tastes like a Snickers bar. A lot of you guys recommended this to me. It's the only way I can see myself eating dates at the moment. I still don't love it. Like, the texture is kind of what freaks me out, but the taste is okay. And if I have it with my tea, I can deal with it. Do you know what I mean? It's like not my favorite thing, but also I'm prepared to do whatever I need to help it soften my cervix. Okay, while I sit here and drink my tea, I thought I would show you guys my birth plan, or like my birth preferences, because I actually had to get it done and printed out to give to my midwife today because she scanned it and put it on my file so that if I forget to take it to the hospital when I actually go into labor, they already have it on file for like other midwives to see, like whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just the most convenient way. So I actually spent like most of yesterday writing it up, and I used a template from the birth course that I did, which is called Power Birth by Birth with Beth. I'll leave her stuff linked down below. She's a midwife and mum herself, and I love following her on Instagram. Like she just seems like an angel of a human, but the way she speaks about birth and like educates people about birth is just so empowering, like so positive, so empowering. It just leaves you feeling really confident. So I loved her birth class, and I decided I would use her like birth preference template to do up my own. So this is what it looks like. It's just one piece of paper. I tried to keep it to one page so that it wasn't too like fussy or complicated for the midwives to go through. So as you can see, it says birth preferences. I'm fully aware that birth doesn't go to plan ever, really. So I think the mindset around calling it like birth preferences rather than a birth plan is just better for me. I am a huge planner. I love to plan things, plan in advance, all of that. And so I feel like if I call it a birth plan, I'm going to be disappointed if it doesn't happen the way I wanted it to. So I've really tried to like train my mind into thinking about these as preferences, things that I would just like to happen in my birth. So yeah, keep that in mind when I'm running through it all. I'm very flexible. My main goal is just to have like a really calm and positive experience, whichever way it goes, however it goes. I just want to come out of it feeling really positive and feeling like I was in control as much as possible, if that makes sense. So I have a little paragraph at the top just saying like, thank you for being part of my labor and my birth. I really value your input, and I'm excited to meet our baby safely and gently. These are our preferences. However, we understand birth can be dynamic. I trust that you share our goal of a calm and positive birth experience, and as such, we welcome your guidance. So basically I wanted to say like, this is what I want. This is how I'm hoping my birth will go, but obviously I'm open to your guidance. The midwives, the doctors, they're the professionals. I feel informed enough to be able to advocate for myself on the day if I need to, but it's more just about like, I welcome your opinion, I welcome your input, but please know this is the experience I want to have. So I've broken it down into 4 sections, like 4 little columns / boxes. I've got the first stage of labor and like working with pain, and I've said, oh no, is it storming out there? Oh no, oh no. We have a sooky baby because I think it's about to storm outside. You're not allowed to be the baby anymore. You gotta be strong and tough. Okay, so I've said in my first stage, I would prefer not to be induced. I want to labor at home for as long as I can, or until like my contractions are at least 5 minutes apart for at least an hour. That's kind of like the standard that they say. I really want to remain like active and mobile during labor, so just go with the flow of my body. Like if I feel like I need to be on the exercise ball, I want the ability to do that. Or if I feel like I need to go for a little walk around the room or whatever, I want to be able to do that. I also have created a birth playlist for myself. So my hospital have said that I can take in my own speaker and play my own music, which will be really nice. I would also like to have access to a shower or a bath or a pool. My hospital does have birthing suites with pools in them, and because I've been like low risk my entire pregnancy, they said that I'm eligible for a birthing suite with a pool, which is really exciting. Hopefully it's available on the day like when I go into labor. I've also hired a TENS machine to use as pain relief, so that should hopefully be arriving in the next like few days. But yeah, I'm gonna try and use that as a form of pain relief, particularly like in early labor when it's just me at home, me and Ben, because I want to try and last at home for as long as I can before going into the hospital. And then once I'm in the hospital, I am open to using the gas and air as a form of pain relief as well. I've also said here that I am aware that epidural is an option, but I would like to avoid one. That is just my personal preference. Nothing against people who opt for an epidural straight away. I think do what's right for you. I'm not against it entirely. I just want to see what I can handle and really just let my body push itself, if that makes sense. So I've said, like, please just don't suggest one until I ask for it. And who knows, I might get there and I might be in that much pain that I'm like, give me the effing epidural right now. But I just don't want to be pressured to have one, because epidural can obviously restrict your movement and it just like changes a few things down the track. And yeah, my preference is to not have one, but like I said, who knows. So yeah, I've said here, like, please just don't suggest an epidural until I ask. I've also said that, like, if you feel as though breaking my waters is necessary, please just discuss the pros and cons with me prior. And my preference is to labor without time restrictions. So every hospital is different, every doctor is different in regards to time restrictions, but I spoke to my midwife today and she said that the guidelines for like my hospital in particular are that they like you to have dilated 2 centimeters every 4 hours. Otherwise they are going to try and progress things a bit faster. Although she did just say that that is purely a recommendation and they can't do anything without my consent anyway. So if it comes down to it and I'm not progressing as fast as they want me to, I still have the end say. And then, sorry if this is like a lot of detail, I would find this really interesting if I was you guys, like planning a pregnancy, especially a first pregnancy. So hopefully you're finding this interesting as well. I've then got another column for my 2nd and 3rd stage of labor. And I've said I would like to try birthing in a side lying position or an all fours position rather than on my back. I've just done a lot of research in terms of like the best positioning for baby. And like the position that kind of opens the tunnel up a bit better. Do you know what I mean? So for me, that's just what I would prefer to try. I've also asked them to use a warm compress on my perineum during the 2nd stage to try and reduce the risk of tearing. I would like to avoid episiotomy. Obviously, if it's necessary, I want them to tell me the pros and the cons and all of that, but I would like to avoid it at all costs. For those of you that don't know, an episiotomy is where they literally have to like cut you open down there, your vagine. I would like to push spontaneously without time restrictions, but I would also like their guidance and their support. So like practice pushes, their guidance on like when to push, when to stop pushing, because I again have learnt that sometimes if you push too much, that is when you can tear. So you have to kind of listen to the midwife's guidance and they'll tell you to stop if they think that you're about to tear, things like that. So I don't want to have a time restriction on pushing because sometimes it can take anywhere between like 10 minutes to 3 hours. Ben is unsure at this stage whether he wants to, like which end he wants to be at. So I've just put here that I would like my partner to be offered the opportunity of catching the baby. So he can decide on the day, depending on how he's feeling, how he's coping with everything. If he feels like he can do it and he wants to be down that end, I think it would be like an amazing experience for him, but I also don't want to pressure him to do that, whatever he feels most comfortable with at the time. And then the rest is just like my 3rd stage, so like birthing the placenta, because if you didn't know, you probably do know if you've had a baby, but like once the baby's out, it's not over. You still have to get the placenta out and basically birth the placenta. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. And I've just chosen to have like an active 3rd stage of labor. And I really want to see my placenta. Like I'm so intrigued. I want to know what it looks like. It's a whole ass organ that my body has just grown for pregnancy. Like I want to see that. And then I've just said immediately after birth, I would like immediate and uninterrupted skin to skin with my baby. I would like delayed cord clamping, which is like a standard procedure now in most hospitals in Australia, I believe. And then I've just said I'd like to delay measurements and routine newborn care procedures until we've had a bit of time to bond as a family. Obviously, if things are going haywire and they need to check baby for whatever reason straight away, I'm not opposed to that. But like if all has gone well, she's breathing, she's crying, all of that. I just think it would be nice to have like a little bit of time with her before they take her away and do all of her measurements and stuff. And then I have put on here, in the event of a cesarean or an emergency scenario, because I think it's important to make sure that you are prepared for everything. Like, you really just don't know how it's going to go. So I want to make sure that in the event of this happening, they know what my preferences are for that too. So I've said that I don't want to be separated from Ben at any point in time. So like, even like, I know a lot of the time they ask the partner to go into another room while they get me prepped for theatre and stuff. I would prefer for him to just be by my side the entire time. Hospitals freak me out, and like, that in itself makes me anxious, let alone an emergency situation where they're like having to, you know, rush me to get prepped for like this major surgery or whatever. I just feel like I need Ben by my side, and I want it to remain still like calm and positive. So I understand like emergencies can come about and it can become like quite a like high-paced, intense situation, but if the people around me can try and just stay like calm and positive, I think that'll make the experience a whole lot better still. I've said I would not like a clear drape. I know I said I want to see my placenta, but I don't want to see the entire insides. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather not. And then I've still asked for immediate skin to skin, and if I can't, then I want Ben to do it. Delayed cord clamping again, and then in the event of admission into special care, I want Ben to be with the baby at all times. So yeah, that is like my long-winded birth preference, birth plan. That's just my personal preference, my goals for this journey. I'm super excited. Like, reading through this earlier with my midwife, I was kind of starting to tear up because it just makes it feel so real. Like, for years now, I've watched other people on YouTube and like followed other people's pregnancy journeys, and I've just been so invested in other people's lives and watching this part of their life, and now it's my turn, and it's just so crazy that we're so close to the end. And yeah, I just can't wait. I was DMing Carissa Pukaz before. Pukaz? I hope I pronounced her last name right then. I was DMing her before on Instagram. For those of you who don't know, her birth vlog, unreal. Like, so empowering to see what women are capable of. I'll again try and leave it linked down below, but her birth vlog was absolutely amazing. And I was messaging her before, we've been talking a bit throughout my pregnancy, and I was saying to her how it's so crazy. Like, birth is one of the hardest things you'll ever go through as a female. Like, the pain that you'll experience, just all of it. It's just a lot. But it's so crazy how I'm still so excited to experience that. Like, in what other world if someone said to you, like, I'm gonna shoot you in the arm on Wednesday, you wouldn't be looking forward to that. But yet with birth, it's like a completely different headspace. It's like the one time that pain is welcomed and pain is exciting, and it's just so incredible that like females get the opportunity to do this. Like, I'm so lucky and I feel so blessed that I've been able to even get this far and like grow my baby, let alone what I'm about to experience. So yeah, this little boy is really, really freaking out. So I think I'm going to end the vlog here because I've done a lot of talking in this vlog and I feel like it's going to be long just from my rants. But I hope you found it all really helpful. If you have any questions at all about my birth preferences, my plan, my midwife appointments, third trimester, anything, just comment down below. I'm a fairly open book, and yeah, I'm happy to share as much information as you guys want. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you. Give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new around here, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. I gotta go take care of this little man.